Hello and welcome to the Prepare to Prosper podcast, episode 14, where we prepare today, prosper tomorrow. So we just went over in the past few episodes the 7 basic needs and how to secure them and provide for those for short, medium, and long-term emergencies. So today we're going to talk about where do you start, and that you need to start slow and work up, because it can be overwhelming for a lot of preppers, especially new preppers. Do I spend thousands of dollars on solar panels? Do I buy a bug out location? Do I do this? Do I do that? How can I put in a garden big enough to feed my entire family this spring? All these things. It can be so overwhelming. We only still have so much time and so much money. So we need to budget both of those things and do things slowly over time in small increments and small changes. And if we do something small every week, those will add up over the course of a year to have accomplished things, especially if we prioritize things. So in one of the early videos, for homework, I said we should go through and list all the emergencies that we could think we might be able to face or might have to face, and then prioritize those, the most likely to least likely. So when we do these little things every week and try to accomplish more stuff, we need to start with things that are most likely to happen and work our way up to that. And also, in those 7 needs, I went through and talked about how to start slowly or how to do like I said, the small, medium, intermediate ones. So those are good places to go back and rewatch those if you haven't, or watch them if you haven't seen them, or rewatch them. And at the end of every episode, I give myself and you homework. I need to sit down and make a list of all that homework and put it on the website. And I don't know when that's going to get done. We're getting ready to leave on vacation, so we'll see. But and just chunk out through that homework, one thing at a time. And also on my website, if you do johnmagnus.com, I'm going to rebrand and come up with a better URL soon. If you go to johnmagnus.com and /levels, it'll have my levels of preparedness that I created for my prepper group. Simple, basic things you can knock out pretty easy and work your way up to bigger and more complicated things. So that way you can take care of the things that are most likely to happen to you. Now, if you download that list, and I'll put a link in the description, but if you download that, make sure you modify it for however you see fit. It's not the Bible. You're allowed to make changes to it. All right, so when we do something small, we can start with what's called copy canning for food. This is a good example. So every time you go to the grocery store, if you see something that you buy that's on sale, buy a little bit extra, and that way you can slowly over time build your pantry deeper and deeper, instead of going out and buying thousands of dollars worth of extra groceries just to make the pantry deeper, or even worse, going out and buying 2 skids of MREs or a pallet of Spam that you don't even like, and then you don't even use those things. Another thing is something me and Sarah came up with, is this slowly filling a bucket thing. So we have a bucket in the closet, and every week we go to the grocery store, or every other week when we go to the grocery store, we bring home a bag of rice or a bag of beans or something. And let's say we're doing rice. The bucket in the closet will have a Mylar bag in it and already have rice in it. We'll come home, throw the rice in the freezer for 24 to 48 hours, or whenever we remember to get it out. That's more likely the case. And that will kill all the bug eggs in it. Then we cut that rice open, dump it in that Mylar bag inside that bucket, roll it up, put a gamma seal on it. When that bag's full, we pull it out, shove it in another bucket, throw an O2 absorber in it, seal the Mylar, shove it in there, put a lid on, and then put that bucket in the crawl space. This way we're slowly building up that rice storage or bean storage or whatever without having to spend, $500 to fill a bunch of buckets all in one go. It ends up costing the same, but it spreads that out over a longer period of time. So those are some examples of starting slow and building up, and how little things that you do every day build up to larger preparedness goals. So like a good place to get started, or you have a lot of stuff you need around the house for taking care of different emergencies. They're just spread out all over your house in junk drawers and back of your closet and stuff like that. So for most people, something they'll need pretty soon is a simple, take my wife's in the hospital, or little Susie or Tammy or whatever's in the hospital, and we need to spend time with them and help take care of them while they're in the hospital, especially if they're a kid. Or while mom's in the hospital and dad's at work, the kids need to stay with grandma. So having a bag or a tote or something like that full of the stuff you need for that. So extra cell phone chargers, a notebook, some snacks that don't go bad, some extra changes of clothes. It could be clothes that are, if you've changed your diet and started losing weight, clothes that don't fit more, that are a little big on you, or clothes that are out of style, or like a pair of jeans that have a hole in them and you're not going to wear anymore, whatever. Throw that kind of stuff in that kit. You already have that stuff laying around the house. You can accomplish that kit right away. Another thing people deal with a lot is power outages. So if you take and put all your flashlights and all that kind of stuff in one location, flashlights, lanterns, extension cords for the generator, all that stuff, if you put that stuff away and know where it's at, you can just, power's out, everybody knows with their job, and they can just go get that stuff. It's already put away, and that'll take care of your blackout kit. You might have to buy a generator or a power inverter for your car, but those would be the only things you'd have to buy, and you'd be able to run your refrigerator and provide lighting for your house. For the short-term emergency, you already got board games. Organize all your board games in one spot. Power goes out, grab some lanterns, set them on the table. It's time to play Monopoly. It's probably better than sitting around watching TV anyway. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about with starting slow and building up, and using the resources you already have before going out and spending lots of money. And there's an advantage here. Let's say your spouse isn't too on board, or the kids aren't too on board with all this preparedness stuff, and you take all the flashlights and lanterns and stuff you already have, even if you have to spend $20 and buy a package of lanterns. You have all that stuff ready to go, and the power goes out, and instead of everybody sitting around not knowing what to do, you have the refrigerator hooked up to the power inverter in the car. You got lanterns on the table, playing board games. You can even cook on the stove, make dinner. Now your preparedness is paid off, and that helps get your family in the right mindset. Like, hey, maybe this being more prepared stuff isn't crazy, like CNN told me. Maybe it actually makes sense, and maybe we should get more on board with this. My friends at work are wrong. My husband's not a nutcase because the power went out, and we had a great time as a family, when before we were sitting around worried about what we're gonna do, and if our food was gonna spoil. So anyway, you should go back through, look at your homework, look at the link in the description, and buy or download or look at that list, the preparedness list I put together, or that levels of preparedness thing I put together, and see if any of that helps you. And start slow. Start doing something this weekend, and then every week just progress a little bit at a time. So thanks for watching. Remember, we prepare today, prosper tomorrow.